facing, AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling, WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling.
Somebody just needs to just slap Tony Khan in the fucking face and tell him to just shut the fuck up. First of all, I don't care what anybody says. You could like AEW, you can hate AEW all you want. I actually like AEW programming. But WWE is nowhere close to Tony Khan's competitor. Sure, is it a big company? Hell yeah. In 5 years, AEW quickly became the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world, worth $2 billion. But for Tony Khan to sit there and call WWE the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling, just like, why? And it's very funny considering the fact that he wants to always go on about, oh, Vince McMahon's a rapist, Vince McMahon's a rapist. Is he? Maybe. But guess what? You signed Ric Flair and Chris Jericho, who has very serious allegations against him. And, like, what are you doing? Tony Khan cannot go 1 second without mentioning WWE. And before all you AEW stands come on here being like, oh, WWE's made a bunch of shots at AEW during WrestleMania weekend. AEW has been taking shots at WWE for 5 goddamn years. Every promo, every segment at one point was just, oh, we're not like the people in Stanford. We're not like this. We're not like this. Focus on your product. You have an amazing roster. You have an amazing fan base. Not really, but, you know, the sane fans anyway are amazing. But it's just like, what did they do to hurt you? What, Cody? Punk? Like, I don't understand. And it's very rare for me to ever agree with Vince Russo on anything, but I watched an old video of his, and it was like, Vince Russo made a point saying, why does Tony Khan have to be the face of everything? Where he's just in every scrum, every segment, all the AEW headlines is about him. And he's not wrong. I mean, Tony Khan is in everything. He gets off on being on camera. Listen, I get it. The NFL draft was yesterday. He's the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But come on, bro. This is what happens when you let a wrestling fan be the boss of a wrestling company. And I will take this to the grave. Tony Khan is everything that is wrong with AEW. The second that Tony Khan gets away from AEW, it will be the biggest dub AEW has ever had. He's immature, insecure, and always wants to be the best man. But you're not. And Bryan Danielson, Chris Hero, even Jeff Jarrett. I'll go so far as to say Jeff Jarrett will take that company to heights that Tony Khan has never seen before. AEW has not yet gotten a streaming deal, but could you imagine if one of those streaming sites that has their eyes on AEW looks at that segment, calling one of the biggest companies in the world the Harvey Weinstein of the pro wrestling community? Go fuck yourself. Like I said in multiple videos, Tony Khan is the Lord and Savior of the pro wrestling community because he is a member of the IWC. He's relatable to everybody. He's a nice little nerd and he's just trying to have fun. No, motherfucker. This is why no one takes Tony Khan seriously, and it's really hurting AEW. They need a sane, mature adult to run AEW. Because the longer Tony Khan runs it, he will drive it to the ground. I know I've made a video saying I don't hate AEW, but I hate Tony Khan. I despise him. I don't like him. I will happily pay to see the Elite pile drive him again.